Hello, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. It is so great to be with you today. Every day, in my opinion, should be Thanksgiving, and I'm going to teach you why, and I'm going to share with you how being thankful can save your life, literally, and it can change your life. It did for me, and it did for so many others, but I'm going to really show you from a scientific viewpoint of what gratitude and what thanks actually does for your body, does for you. So welcome to Ask a Death Doula. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't forget that you can pre-order the Good Death book, by the way, and get a free ticket to the full live one-day event, or you can pre-order 3 of the Good Death books and get the Confident Caregiver course for free. And you have the live event. So the information is below. Please don't miss this opportunity. If you are somebody who wants either one or both of those gifts, please take this advantage of this offer. It's amazing. And it's only available for a time limit. So again, the Good Death movement is on the move, changing lives every single day. Thank you for being part of that. Let's dive right in. I'm so thankful for you. And I'm so thankful for all of your stories and feedback. And one of the things in the Good Death book, it's our book. And so I really want to share that with you, is that the reason that book was written is because of your stories of you with your families, because of the gaps in care, because of the intense end of life experiences, often very complicated traumatic grief, lack of preparation, all of it. That is our book. And it's because of your stories and you showing up and now paying it forward to have this conversation. But here's what it does. It teaches you about life. Working with people at the end of life, and this is where I'm going to talk to you about gratitude and giving thanks. So let me just share with you in this podcast today how being thankful can save your life. We'll cover 3 main parts. So I'm going to go into realizing that we're human beings. So that's going to be one. And that's, again, what I've learned at the end of life. But then I'm going to also teach you how being thankful and being in the state of gratitude, the vibrational, energetic state of gratitude, is the highest state of frequency that you can be in. And then I'm going to show you, based on science, what they're saying from Harvard. Let's just go right to the top of Harvard University, the studies that they've had about being thankful and grateful and what they have found. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a very easy technique that you can incorporate into your life so easily within 5-10 minutes, and it will change your day every single day that you do this. Probably more than that. I do this every day. I do not start my day without doing some form of this, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it has changed everything for me. So let's begin. The first day that I went out to see hospice patients as a hospice nurse, and I have to share this with you, is that I had no experience in end of life. Yes, I was a registered nurse, but I never had worked with anyone at the end of life, never experienced any of that. And I was very unfulfilled in my current hospital job, which is where I was working. I didn't really have any time with patients. And I heard this little voice that said, go to hospice, go to hospice. And when I heard that voice, my heart expanded. Something in me expanded. It was like this wave of love came over me and connectedness that I had never felt before. And it didn't make any analytical sense, because why am I hearing this? And I literally said that. Why am I hearing this? Because I have no end of life experience. Where is that coming from? Even I didn't even know at the time. And I said, okay, well, here's the truth, that I know there's more to this life. There's got to be. I know there is. And I've taken everyone's advice and done everything that society and my family and everyone says you're supposed to do. And I was not happy. I knew there was more. So I said, I don't know what this is. I don't know where this voice is coming from. I don't know why I'm hearing go to hospice, but the feeling that I feel inside when I think about working with people at the end of life, being in that sacred space, is something I have never felt before. So I'm just going to follow this. That's what I said. I'm just going to see what this is. And the very first day I went out to see hospice patients, I knew exactly that I was in the right place, that I was supposed to be in my life. Now, here's what that little voice was and is. It's my higher self speaking to me, guiding me, trying to put me on my path of having an incredible, connected life that we're all able to, if we're able to understand how life works. So, on top of me stepping out on that, so I call it inspired guidance that you get, and then you need to take inspired action. So I did that and I knew, wow, that day, at the end of the day in the yard of my house, I remember saying, that's how life works. This is how life works. It's not what do I think that I know? What do I think I should be doing? It's what do I feel? What am I being guided from my heart? And it's not going to make analytical sense, which is the real challenge there. And that's the gap, because your analytical mind wants to discount everything that's not making perfect sense, fitting into boxes, being logical. And of course, know that your mental mind is very, very small compared to your being wisdom. So knowing that that's how life worked that day, feeling connected to something so much greater than I have ever felt before in my life. And here's the thing, here's the reality. I had just purchased not too long before that an 1861 farmhouse that was, I call it kind of falling down, with a lot of love and gratitude, by the way. That's the only thing I could afford as a single mother. And I had no business really buying a house without funds and not knowing how to care for it. But I felt like at that day, coming home from hospice, I felt like the wealthiest woman in the world. Why? Because I had found it. And I was connected to alignment and to the higher part of myself, my being part, which no matter what your outside circumstances are, whatever is going out in the world, what's over going on in the world or going on in your human story, this connected, this tie to your being part, your soul self, is always perfect, at peace, knows the answers just wherever it is. And that to me makes you the wealthiest person in the world. By the way, everything then tends to fall into place after that. We'll get to that with the change in how you live this human being experience. So the first thing that I realized was following my guidance system. The second thing that happened is it was being validated and confirmed by my end of life patients. So I want to tell you this, there are no accidents. There is a divine plan. There is something so much greater at work here in the most beautiful way. And it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And so now, when I was working in that space and I was seeing people at the end of life, they were confirming the fact that there are two parts to us. There's a human part, a human story, and there is a being part in your being story. And at the end of life, we're four bodies of energy: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all of us. But at the end of life, what I was witnessing is as people's physical bodies were diminishing, their spiritual body was growing. And there was one point in that end of life journey that they have one foot in this world and one foot in the next. And they would literally, I call it, get their spiritual eyes, get their spiritual wisdom. There's one point in that end of life journey where they have one foot in this world, one foot in the next, and they get all this clarity, this wisdom, the connected to their being part. And they'll say, I understand it now. I get it now. I know why all of those things happen to me. Everything starts to be like put like a puzzle, making perfect sense, and also allowing them to see from a higher perspective how that situation was happening to help them to evolve, to help them learn a lesson, to help them grow in their soul growth, their being part, to strengthen to that being part of them, to find their way back home, to find their way back home to the being part of them. No matter what their circumstances is, no matter where they are in the world, no matter what is happening, finding that home within you is always accessible, but we have to find it. And we have to be able to step out into that trusted guidance to find that. And so now they're looking back at their lives and they're making sense of it all. But one of the things that they're saying is that everything was meant for a reason, that I understand why all that happened now. And they're able to release, and this is critically important, they're able to release anger, shame, guilt, resentment, the things that in the human story we hold on to that actually keep us quite stuck, by the way. So when I'm seeing these absolute epiphanies at the end of life. By the way, from all different cultures, from all different religions, people were saying the same exact things. So now, not only did I have my own experience following my guidance system to this space, but now it's being confirmed over and over by people that are leaving their physical bodies, going into the next world. And I am able to be at the threshold of that greater spiritual part of this journey, which, by the way, is an absolute incredible honor. And when you are part of a end of life that goes well, it'll change you forever. You will never look at things the same way, in the best way. And so when that started happening to me, no longer was it, oh, I have to go to the gym. It was, I get to go to the gym. No longer was it for me, oh, I have to go grocery shopping. It was, I get to go grocery shopping because I'm with people that don't have those choices anymore. And every single day, you have so many gifts that you're able to be able to do and also to connect with. So for me, it's almost like putting on glasses that have a completely different lens. And let's just call them rose-colored glasses. Yeah. There must be a reason why that phrase is in the world. You're looking at the world with rose-colored glasses. Absolutely. And let me tell you, with those glasses on, what an incredible world this is. I didn't change any of my outside situation. I changed the way I was looking at it. I changed the lens in which I was looking at everything in my life for the gift that it is. And so everything elevated to a level of gratitude for me, being able to see my parents and being able to go grocery shopping and being able to have a house, like everything just changed. And so that frequency now is actually documented in science. When you have thanks, when you have gratitude, when you're sitting in those moments of giving thanks and having gratitude, that is the highest energetic frequency you can be in. So remember, the being part of us, the beautiful soul self, that's that love. That's that unconditional love. That's that unconditional appreciation, unconditional gratitude. When you in the raise your frequency within the human being journey to that of a higher frequency, first of all, your day completely changes because, again, you're living within a level of appreciation of just everything. And then what that does is it brings more of that same energy into your world. But as we're going to talk about in a few minutes, the studies that are being done are telling you all of the absolute scientifically based positive effects that it has on your body and so much else. So I want to give you that information, but I really want you to take away this. We're energetic beings, all of us, each one of us. Everything is energy, by the way. And we live in a world of vibration. So we live in an energetic world. So you might have heard the term law of attraction. And I don't love that phrase. And I'll tell you why. Usually when you hear of law of attraction, it's, oh, I, thought about, all these great cars and this big mansion, and then I got it. And so to me, that's a lot of times that's being brought in its teaching with ego, because those things, by the way, they will not sustain your happiness. I want to say that again. Cars, money, a big mansion will not sustain your happiness. There's nothing wrong with those things, by the way. But what you're looking for is fulfillment. What you're looking for is that alignment to your being part in the human journey. That's where this unlimited amount of wealth comes to you. Serenity, a peacefulness, a joyfulness, a connectedness that is billions, if you want to put a energetic monetary price on it. You can't put a price on it because it's everything. But that's what this human journey is about. So there's nothing wrong with those things. So you've heard of law of attraction, and I call it law of vibration. So that it is true that how you vibrate, where you're vibrating at, where your energy is going to attract more of the like. So that's the law of the universe. That's how we live in a universal energetic law of vibration. And so for you, understanding how important it is, where is your set point of your vibration? Just ask yourself this right now. Look at your circumstances. How is your emotional state right now? Are you angry? Are you exhausted? Are you resentful? Do you think that you've missed your opportunity in this world in any way? Are you physically sick? Where are you energetically? And that can directly relate to where your set point is vibrationally. And this all starts with what's going on right here, between right here. So when I'm resentful, when I'm angry, when I'm sad, when I'm doing a job that I don't like, when I'm surrounded by things energetically that just take my energy and just keep me, out of my alignment, that's the set point of my vibration and my signal to the world. And the world is they love me so much. The world loves you so much. The universe, God, whatever your belief system is, it's going to give you more of what you're asking for. And how you ask is your vibrational set point. That was everything right there, what I shared with you. So what you want to do is understand how this works. You want to be conscious of where your emotional, vibrational set point is, and then you want to change it. And how do you change it? Gratitude, thankfulness. That is one of the quickest ways. So yes, and I'm going to give you a technique that's going to start your day, and it's going to surround you in an energetic, beautiful bubble of love that is going to allow you to really flow through your day. Not that things will not come up, but when they do, you're going to be able to respond to them, not be reactive to them. And that changes everything. So knowing how it works and knowing that gratitude is really, again, when we're in a state of gratitude, there cannot be another emotion there. And this is really key. So when you sit in gratitude and think of things you're grateful for, and again, I'm going to give you a technique that you can do every morning, nothing else can get in that place. So let's just take a really outside situation. And I know that life can be really challenging and hard. Please, I know that. And I know that all of us are carrying wounds and stories that people do not know. So the other thing, we want to never judge others and never assume that their life is perfect and they have no problems, because that's not true. We want to have that non-judgmental and compassion and kindness for one another. But I want to tell you this, with the things that we go through in our lives that are really painful, and we've all had them, when we hold on to that anger, when we hold on to those with resentment or anger or unforgiveness, it's in there. And I know it takes time. Believe me, it took me years to get to a place of forgiving like two people who really, really hurt me terribly during my life. And I look at them now like my greatest teachers, spiritual teachers. They taught me so much. And I really have gratitude for those lessons. It took me years to get to that point. So I'm not saying, and I know that when there's heavy things, but I want you to know this for you, that when we're holding on to things, forgiveness is your tool. Forgiveness cuts the energetic tie of that anger, of that resentment. And again, there's forgiveness of others and there's forgiveness of ourselves. What was the lesson? Let's look at that situation and say, what was the learning there? What do I learn from that? And maybe it's that I never want to do that ever again. I never want to be that person. Or maybe it's that, what did that lesson tell you about where you were making the choices you were that allowed somebody to hurt you? Or maybe, it could be an array of things. I just want you to understand the power of forgiveness in this place of allowing you to release things and to look at, and I know this takes time, looking back on our lives, just like the people at the end of life, where they say, I get it now. Now I understand why all of that happened. I want to tell you a story about one of our certified doula givers. She was estranged from her father all her life. And she got a phone call one day. She was in her 20s, early 20s. She got a phone call from her aunt who said that your dad is dying and he's requesting to see you. He wants to see you. He was in another country, by the way. And she said, absolutely not. No way. He doesn't deserve it. I'm not going there. Forget it. And then she thought about it. And she said to herself, okay, I'm going to go. She says the minute she crossed over the doorway of that hospital room, he was saying, please forgive me. I forgive you. I love you. Like a totally changed person. And she says how glad that she is that she went, because the forgiveness was for her. And it allowed her to release the heaviness, the anger, all of it that she was carrying, that was her energetic set point and affecting her vibrational set point, which, people don't fully understand unless you hear this podcast and really understand how this works, that it destroys you. Unforgiveness, the anger, the resentment eats away at you. Equally and more importantly is that it sets your vibrational set point at a way that just attracts more of that. Have you ever felt like you're just in the same loop over and over and over again, that you just can't break out of this same thing, even though that circumstance happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the divorce, whatever it is, you're ruminating on that and you're still resentful of it. And so much has happened. And please, I do understand that it's really hard, not trying to say that it's not. But do you ever look at why are you still in that same place? Why the same things come up? How come you can't break out of this? It's because it's your energetic set point. It's your vibrational set point that you're sending out, that the universe is keeping coming to you. Yes, that's what you want. We're going to give you more of that. So understanding gratitude and being thankful, and then understanding that forgiveness, and that's a little bit of an advanced move here. So I really want to give you that pearl, that forgiveness is your tool to moving these boulders, to releasing, to putting them down that we carry, and we all have them. And there's no judgment here. Now, let's talk about the studies from Harvard. I'd like to pull out Harvard for a minute, but there's been studies by many different places about gratitude. But I'm going to pull out a few from good old Harvard Institute to really hone into the benefits of gratitude. So one of them is that it says Harvard has conducted several studies highlighting the benefits of gratitude on happiness and overall well-being. So here's their findings. Number one article says gratitude and happiness. According to an article from Harvard University, gratitude is strongly associated with greater happiness. It helps people feel more positive emotions. Remember your energetic set point. Relish good experiences. So that's the lens we're looking at now. So instead of looking at, oh, I have to go to the gym, I'm saying, I get to go to the gym. Like everything changes from that perception, brings more into you, and improves their overall well-being. So what happens when we are positive? What happens if we are happy and optimistic? Happy hormones. Happy hormones get sent throughout the body, and healing occurs. And it's the opposite when we are stuck in that angry place or depressed place or having anxiety. So give me a yes across the board with this when it's every day. And by the way, I really teach this in ULM, is living each day like one little lifetime and squeezing out all the beauty and love that's in that day, because we don't know how many days we have. And so if I make sure that each and every day I'm present, I'm kind, I connect with joy, I connect with service, and I hold that frequency of love, I'm not going to miss it. However many days I have, and I hope there's plenty. This is a beautiful thing, that each day to find your alignment, to find your rhythm. But let's give a shout out to feeling better, to not feeling fatigued all the time, to not having aches and pains, to feeling, wow, this is great. I love this. What do I want to do next? Let's, go for a walk. Let's play tennis. Let's savor this beautiful moment that we have today. So that's all that starts to happen. The second article said health benefits. Another Harvard blog post discussed how gratitude enhances health brings happiness, and may even lengthen lives. It mentions that gratitude can lead to better sleep quality, which is again connected to quality of life, by the way. I know that a lot of us struggle with sleep habits, and a lot of us in the midlife range really struggle with sleep habits because of some changes that are going on. And really, the quality of your sleep really determines the quality of your day. And there's many things that happen in your sleep. So get ready for another podcast on sleep because I'm working on that myself. But it lowers stress levels. Happiness lowers your stress levels, improves your sleep, and improves emotional and social well-being, of course. And then the third article talks about longevity. A study from Harvard Chan School found that older women who scored high in gratitude assessments had a 9% lower risk of death, suggesting that gratitude may contribute to greater longevity. So I'm going to post those articles for you to take a look at. So let's talk about, I want to talk about just your health for a minute and your overall mental well-being and physical well-being. It all starts with what are we thinking? And what happens with what I'm thinking turns into an emotion, right? And that emotion sets off chemical reactions in my bodies, hormones in my body. So if I'm angry, have anxiety and stressed, it's going to kick off into the sympathetic nervous system and the stress hormones go all awry. And we know what that feels like. Conversely, if I am happy and joyful, guess what happens? All of a sudden, happy hormones are being healthy hormones. Things are going well. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm feeling good. This is so important because this is to me, for you, and I think for each of us, the quality of your beautiful day every single day that you have is something that I want you to have at the highest level possible. And a lot of the things we teach here, yes, you know me as End of Life Doulagiver founder of Doulagivers Institute, helping to teach people how to care for those at the end of life. But I'm talking about life because everything I learned from those at the end of life has taught me everything, how to live a beautiful life. And I mean everything. And that's what I want to teach you, because really a good end of life is a good life. And these are the tools that get us there. And if we're not listening to people at the end of life about the wisdom that they want to impart on us, we are really doing something wrong. So that being said, let's go into now how we can start our day with a very simple practice that I do every single day. And you can do it too. Okay. I've been doing this for years. I will not start my day without this practice, period. And I teach my Doulagiver students this, and I teach this in ULM. There's a beautiful, so stay with me for a minute. When you're coming out of sleep, when you're coming out of that beautiful connection to the being part of who you are, which by the way happens in sleep because our minds stop. They quiet down, and now you're in that yummy space of your true self. There's also a lot of other things that happen during sleep with filing memories and all of that and trying to work things out. But you do connect with that being part of you because the mind chatter stops. There's a beautiful space when you're starting to awake. That's this liminal space between worlds. And it is a wonderful place to stop and to slow it down. So don't jump out of bed and just immediately start with your phone and your email, which I know is very hard. I'm guilty of it too. But I want to tell you that savoring that sweet spot for 5, 10, 15 minutes will change your life. And so what I do, yes, sometimes I have to get up, use the restroom, get a drink of water, come back. But I won't start my human doing, without setting my vibrational state first. And how I do that is connecting with my heart and thinking of at least 3 things that I'm grateful for and really basking in gratitude. Thank you for another day. I always thank you for my dog, thanking for my beautiful, bed that I'm lucky to sleep in. It goes on and on. Thank you for the work that I'm able to do. Thank you for my health. You can just make a list of it. And I really get in that state of gratitude, and I really expand my heart energy, connect with my heart. and really expand that out to the world, to the universe. And then I'll just share with you something else that I set. I set an intention every morning. And I set the intention to not think that I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I want you to hear this from me because, yes, I do a lot of things. We have a lot that we do at the Institute. Remember that day that I was guided to go to hospice? Go to hospice. Made no sense analytically. And I trusted it anyway. And I said, that's how life works, that there is a far greater plan and wisdom of my higher self connected to the higher oneness that we're all connected to, that knows what's supposed to be done, that has a far better plan. All I need to do is listen to it. And all I need to do is have the courage to follow it. So every morning I make sure that I sit in that place of gratitude, but set the intention consciously to let go of this, the human control, and let this guide me. However I'm supposed to show up to be of the highest service to myself and to the world, the universe. Let me see let me know, let me hear, let me be guided to what that is supposed to be. And then I'm smart enough to follow that. So that's how I set my vibrational set point. And it's really a question of love or a question of fear. That's it. And I just want to tell you now that love is all there is. When we are fearful, when we are separate and angry, and so what we see in that human part, people are so far removed from their being energy that that's all that really consumes them. They can never be completely detached from it, but they're so detached from it. They're just going through in this chaotic ego, human, separate, fearful, powerful. It's awful. It's learning. So I don't want to be judgmental on it, but really painful and difficult things we see and we know. And when you start to reconnect like a muscle that you're exercising to the being part, to your heart part, oh, get ready. Get ready for the most incredible life journey that you could have ever imagined, that you probably can't even imagine. It'll just start to happen. Everything takes on a new essence. Colors are different. You're connecting, you look at nature differently, the animals, air, it's like breathing for the first time, and it's available to all of us. You get there with gratitude. You get there with doing a practice every day. So when you start your morning, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of just being quiet, not jumping out, not touching the phone, and connecting to your heart, thinking of things you're grateful for, you're going to surround yourself with this beautiful bubble of love that is going to last you like the whole day. And you start to flow in life, not push through it. And that's how you change your life. So to recap on this podcast today, how being thankful can literally save your life. Harvard said it about your health, but I'm going to say it about the question of being spiritually bankrupt and feeling like you're dead inside if you're attached to people and work and just so lost and not connected to that being part of you. This is how you reconnect to that. So not only can improve your health, but in just create a joy and a flow, and of course, allow you to find and align with what is your service and gift that you came into this world to give, because that's how you find it. And each and every one of you is here for a reason. Can you hear it? Do you know what that is? Because once you align with that, again, your life will be full of just blessings, large and small. And I want that so much for you. So thank you to this podcast. Realize that we are human beings, that we have that everything is energetic, that you have a set level of vibration that is your core vibration that you're sending out. That's going to bring what's back to you. And then the simple practice of gratitude in the morning in that liminal space that will set you up for the whole day being beautiful. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. This was Ask a Death Doula. Again, links are below. Pre-order the book, come to the live event. I'm going to be sharing with you the good life, and the good death and the good life. And I'm going to be sharing with you how you can make a life plan from this moment forward to access exactly things that I'm talking about here. So I'd love for you to join. The event is free with just one copy of the book. Pre-order the book below, and we'll see you in the masterclass. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Love to you all, and we'll see you in the next episode.